provide an update to the people of St. Martin regarding the appointment, and I'm speaking now about NVGEBE, the appointment of the management board. I know the supervisory board submitted the names of candidates of persons that to fill the positions that are available. When will government take a decision and appoint these persons? Can you also give us an update on the negotiation regarding the purchase of the 3 engines for NVGEBE and the relief that that was passed by a motion passed by Parliament during the amendment debate regarding giving the people of St. Martin relief due to the situation that has been caused by NVGEBE?
We are busy this week. I'm busy with actually the legal framework to make sure that the appointment is going to be correctly followed in the procurement and procedures, respecting the corporate governance that still is a part of this process, and also respecting the articles of incorporation. I have this week still a meeting with my legal advisors for us to put the dots on the I. And as of next week, we're going to start moving with crystallization of proposals for the filling in of the management positions for GEBE. Your second question, Mrs. Sean?
The discussions on the loans for the purchase of the 3 engines?
The discussion on the loans it's actually, you can look at it differently. It's like a protocol that has to be followed for the loans for the purchase of actually the 3 big generators that we are aiming to purchase for St. Martin. The conditions, it's not really conditions, it's more an agreement that we still have to sit and discuss with each other, but the protocol that will be followed will have as content that especially St. Martin will have to make a commitment on the energy transition for the future as the world is moving towards renewable and green energy. I think it's very logical that St. Martin also will have to have that commitment. That is one of the negotiation points of this loan. Also, there will be some environmental requirements, for example, that we make sure that we are moving forward with the energy supply of St. Martin, that we consider the impact, and especially the impact that can have on the environment of the world and, of course, of St. Martin. We will have to have a quarterly update of the progress of purchasing, installment, etc. of the generators. We will have also to give an update on moving forward, as your first question, of the progress of appointment on managerial level for the company. We will have to review our corporate governance to make sure that we have a healthy governance of a GEBE. And of course, the time span will have to be negotiated approximately. That is what I think it will be in the span of 25, 30 years loan. And of course, the interest rate, what I think personally, but it has not been discussed yet, that the rate will be set on the interest that the Netherlands pays on the international capital markets. So it's depending what they pay, that figure will be discussed. These are some of the points that I expect that will be discussed in the protocol, in the process of the agreement on the loan to move forward GEBE.
And what about the relief that based on the motion passed in Parliament? I know you voted against that motion.
Yes, because I wanted to stay very realistic. I didn't want to be the popular politician voting towards emotion to gain only popularism for the moment, but stay realistic to the people of St. Martin, especially making sure that we can, one side, consider what we realize, the difficulties and challenges that the consumers are going through, and on the other side, also realizing the vulnerable position of the GEBE financially too, considering those two. I'm working, of course, one of the topics that we have been discussing, of course, that is very evident is the fuel clause. I have been discussing with the stakeholders that has a contribution in the formation of the fuel clause. We are busy now dealing with a third person as a committee in a committee form to see if we can use that as a center point to negotiate with all partners very seriously to come to a definitive solution to reduce the fuel clause that is part of the invoice of the electricity consumers of St. Martin. The stakeholders that we will have to sit on the table with are the 7 Cs, that is a high delivery of water for the operation of GEBE. The other one is, of course, the harbor, because we have a throughput fee that contributes also to the fuel clause, and the third party is also the SOL itself. We have government and we have GEBE itself. So actually there are 5 stakeholders. And to have a comprehensive approach, we will have to coordinate it through persons appointed to sit and negotiate with all these stakeholders in a responsible way, in a way that it's realistic for the consumer and also for the sustainability and continuity of the GEBE itself. But we are very seriously busy with what I just explained.
Today marks a pivotal moment as I stand before you in my final time as your Minister of Justice and Acting Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport. For the final time in this press briefing, as swearing in is tentatively known for the 26th of November. If anything else, you will know I'll be extended for a little bit more. Reflecting on my tenure, though brief, it has been a period of intense and impactful service, during which we have pursued comprehensive reforms and initiatives aimed at enhancing the efficiency and integrity of our justice system. I came with a determination to see justice for our justice workers who have long awaited the appropriate compensation for their work. I encountered a lot of inconsistency, and I am proud that we were able to push all stakeholders, which involved and accomplished over 6 batches during my tenure. Currently, batch 11 is being distributed, and I hope that batch 12, which is at the governor's office, can also be returned within this week, that can also be distributed. Batch 13 is also in the process. And furthermore, in the partnership with the Coast Guard, we have successfully finalized agreements with the CCSU to adjust and the increase of salaries of our brave officers incorporating the 3.2% indexation. This not only boosts morale, but also ensures that our security forces are rewarded with their unwavering dedication. I have ensured that the National Detective Department achieved a significant milestone as we have strengthened the foundation of our force with successfully swearing in all personnel, a gesture underscoring our commitment to accountability and duty. Another necessity has been the need for resources across all departments. Unfortunately, we face budget constraints across all ministries. However, we were able to increase our capabilities with the acquisition of 3 new service vehicles for the National Detective, ensuring our teams are equipped to respond with the efficiency that justice demands. On the front lines of public safety, significant strides have been made under my leadership to enhance operational capabilities and responsiveness of the St. Martin Police Force, known as KPSM. Recognizing a critical need, we secured funding through the capital expenditures budget to acquire additional vehicles for the police force of St. Martin. This initiative was designed to address the shortage caused by wear and tear of the existing fleet, thereby increasing the police visibility and strengthening public safety efforts across the island. I have aimed for more collaborative efforts with our French counterparts, taking decisive actions to combat crime, and provided the police force of St. Martin with the necessary mandate to address gun violence on the island. Furthermore, I have empowered KPSM by providing them with the support and manpower needed to effectively tackle the crime challenges our island faces. Our proactive engagement with the community during the disturbances in Dutch Quarter is one such example. During my tenure, we have taken a comprehensive approach to crime aimed at increased visibility, increased patrol, and the use of technology to identify hotspots. Our most important initiative, however, has been the agreement to launch phase 2 of the new prison projects with UNOPS. This project isn't just about constructing a new facility. It's about rethinking, reshaping our approach to the correction and the rehabilitation. This state-of-the-art correctional facility, aligned with the highest international standards addressing acute challenges posed by our current infrastructure. It embodies our commitment to a humane, efficient, and modern correctional environment. The overwhelmingly positive reception from all stakeholders has confirmed we are on the right path. Regarding immigration, when I assumed office, I encountered a significant backlog of cases, neglect of humanitarian concerns, and inconsistent application of policies. I prioritize improving the admissions and residence processes, especially focusing on granting residence permit to individuals born here and those who are residing on the island for many years. Additionally, I tackled emerging challenges by ensuring our immigration policies aligned with both our national security priorities and our humanitarian obligations. This focus was clearly integrated into our broader immigration policy framework. We engage in a meaningful discussion across different sectors of immigration to push these changes forward. Although our ambitious goals sometimes strained our operational capabilities, they underscored the dedication and adaptability of our Immigration and Border Protection Services staff in crafting impactful and progressive solutions. Furthermore, we strengthen our collaborative framework with Kingdom partners through the AVO, enhancing information sharing and operational coordination. This comprehensive approach to immigration aimed not to only streamline procedures, but also to reaffirm our commitment to being a welcoming, secure, and just nation. As we move forward, the groundwork laid in these areas is crucial for the continued prosperity and security of St. Martin on a whole. The initiatives we have introduced serve not only our current needs, but also prepare us for future challenges and opportunities in the evolving global landscape. As I conclude my tenure, I am confident in the foundation we have built for more just, secure, responsive justice system. The progress we have made is not just a reflection of my vision, but our collective commitment to the principles of justice and equity. I am grateful for the opportunity to have served and look forward to seeing the seeds we have planted bear fruit in the capable hands of the future. Thank you for your trust and collaboration. Let's continue to strive for our community where justice prevails, peace is cherished, and our people can thrive in the safety and dignity. I would also like to personally thank every single civil servant under my ministry for the hard work and dedication that you have done and that you have showed the people of this country that no matter what the constraints are, we will continue pushing as civil servants.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah. Your social health insurances.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
Support this initiative wholeheartedly because I see the need for it. We've seen the rise in crime over the last couple of years, and we see that things are becoming more extreme. So I'm definitely in favor of a setup like this because I always believe in exploring different ways and means in order to reach our ultimate goal. However, there's a couple of organizations that I would like to see added to this proposal moving forward. I would like to see that the newly started victim support services is also added so that they can share what they have experienced thus far and also their expertise. Also, I would like to see the Miss Lally Youth Detention Center, a representative from there, whether the director attend this. And lastly, the Have Bay, the Huis van Bewaring. Although that might be after the fact, after something has happened, I think that the role that they play in or should play in rehabilitation is a pivotal role and should also be included in such a setting so that we can have a broad scope of different experiences, different expertise in order to reach the ultimate goal, which is bettering our policies or providing ways and means to keep our at-risk youth or at-risk young adults in check in order to make sure that they have a fruitful future. Thank you for the opportunity, and I hope that this proposal can be considered.
Full-heartedly with MP Duran for the fact that prison is supposed to be a rehabilitation center, a rehabilitation aspect, because for the fact that we don't customarily offer life. So for the fact that we don't customarily offer life sentence means that these persons will be reintroduced back to society. The problem we are having is we have a high, well, probably the data will have to show, but a high amount of reoccurring criminals. People who are released are often introduced back to the system. And that's why it's important, because something somewhere is going wrong. This is a great initiative. It has my support as well once those aspects are added. But I just don't want this to be with the size of this meeting, it definitely won't be a one-time meeting. It'll end up being something like a seminar. But I would like to see if possibly the legal aspect on how an MOU can come out of this at the end. I know when I was in Minister of VSI, we would have these large groups. At the end of the seminar, we would create an MOU on the direction and the way forward, more of a commitment to the people of St. Martin. So if we can look into that legal trajectory on how we can establish this and create an MOU to move forward, I am greatly in support of this initiative.
Dear lady, it's actually what you mentioned that I wanted to, while totally in support of the proposal for the Parliament of St. Martin via this committee to meet with all of those involved, as you have named them, as some suggestions have been made to add some persons and or organization, and for the Parliament to form an idea about the issue at hand. So I completely support that we should be able to get that information directly from some of the stakeholders involved. However, I do believe that we need to, and you as chair can do that, caucus with the government about the approach that we want to take. One, so that stakeholders do not misunderstand what the Parliament wants and what we are able to do. One. Two, let us make sure that what it is that we're asking of the stakeholders and make sure that that is formulated clearly in terms of what we are expecting of the stakeholders. Much of it, Madam Chair Lady, because I am sure, just like I have, many, including yourself, of my colleagues have as well, we realize that in fighting crime, many of our organizations face the lack of resources. That's a fact. And so we need to keep this in the back of our minds as we speak to these different organizations and persons. You speak to the Court of Guardianship. You speak to the police. Most of these organizations have plans in place for the betterment of their functioning, of their assistance, whatever it is, but lack resources. In addition to that, many individuals have been named in your summary to be approached who are civil servants, and thus the minister in question would have to be contacted about these civil servants coming and sharing from their perspective the information that the Parliament wants to get. So I think we need to carefully, following the approval of having this roundtable, establish what our objective is as Parliament, one, and as you already mentioned, Madam Chair Lady, how we're going to get all of these persons in a timely fashion to, at the end of what? 3 months, whatever the case may be, come up with whatever the result of these meetings that we would like to have.
But I can tell you, as part of that YACO organization, when I was a Inspectorate of Education, a truancy officer, which I noticed they're not here, but I guess they'll fall under the Minister of Education. One of the key issues that we had then, and when I'm in contact with them, that they still have now, is that the executive branch, the decision makers, are not actively participating in those meetings. So there's a lot of things that hamper them from making the right. Let me put it this way: there's a lot of things that hamper them, and as the speaker before me said, shortage of manpower, certain laws needs to be amended. There are so much different things that I know for sure that they are going to welcome this meeting. I know they're going to support this, they're going to welcome this meeting, but we have to be very careful as to what they can expect from this meeting as well. Because as I stated as well in one of my previous meetings, usually at the beginning of every school year, there's a general meeting with all these stakeholders, including the schools, including a lot of stakeholders. The agenda is always the same, the result is always the same, but the actions are always lacking. So that's why it's always the same issues coming up with no solutions. And that's a bit frustrating for those that are participating. And that was on one level. So now if we're taking it to a different level, I do agree with the speaker before me. We have to be very, very clear what we can offer them, even if it comes in the sense of making sure that whatever the executive branch needs, whatever support the executive branch needs from this floor of Parliament, that we will ensure to give them that support that they need in order that they can continue, or in order for them to address the issues that our young people are facing today.
SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social health insurances.
SXM Daily News is speaking to our local cardiologist, Dr. Emiko Bird-Lake, who is also a member of the Heart and Stroke Association. We are going to find out from Dr. Bird what is in store for the community in the upcoming months.
Good afternoon, Valerie. Thank you. St. Martin Heart and Stroke Foundation, indeed, we are active in the month of February, mainly because that's the month of cardiovascular disease. And that's when we also make sure that we have activities that involve anything about cardiovascular. So next year, February, we definitely will be having our events. Last year we did a whole month of exercise and dieting, and next year we're going to think about the mental issues, the mental health by cardiovascular disease, patients who have had heart attacks, who have having strokes, and what is the mental impact on them and how do they cope with that. So it's very important that we also pay attention to that. We have younger people who are getting strokes, younger people who are getting heart attacks. How do you deal with that? And how can you continue living and knowing that, something may occur again? But our main thing that we also want to discuss and make sure that we do, and in collaboration with the government, with CPS, with the Ministry of VSA, is prevention. Our focus really needs to be on prevention. Our insurance needs to cover prevention so that we can reduce the amount of deaths from cardiovascular disease. So, and this year, the year is almost over, so we don't have that many activities. We're joining up with the AUC to do something also for the stroke, attention for the stroke awareness, and yes, so that's about it. But we're looking forward to next year, February.
Dr. Bird, you were talking about last year or earlier this year, during the month of February, you had a whole month. Will you be extending that, or will you be using the entire month again?
Yes, we'll definitely be using the entire month, because what we usually do as well is the walk and swim. That's our annual walk and swim that we do, also to raise funds and to make sure and bring awareness. So it's just like how for the Positive Foundation does for the breast awareness. We're definitely going to be very active in the month of the month of February. But it's not only about the month of February, but of course that's the moment to be highlighted. But we really want to be more active in the course of the year as well.